Alright, so let's work on some more Pythagorean Theorem problems. So, I want to know how much further it is from A to C along the legs than the hypotenuse. So first we need to find out how long that hypotenuse is. And let's say this is miles. So again, we're going to start with A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Anytime you see a right triangle, you're probably going to use Pythagorean Theorem. So we're going to do 28 squared plus 50 squared equals C squared. So first we need to work out 28 squared and 50 squared. Well, 50 squared is 5 times 5, which is 25 with 2 zeros. So that's going to be 2,500 plus 28 squared. Can't do that one in my head, so let's work that out. So 28 times 28. 8 times 8 is 64. 16 plus 6 is 22. 2 times 8 is 16. 2, 4, 5. So add this up, I'm going to get 784. That equals C squared. So I'm going to add this up. I'm going to get 8, 4, 2, 3. So 3,284 equals C squared. So I need to square root that. Now, I need a number that's greater than 50, because 50 is 2,500. But the square root of 3,284. So at this point, you know, these numbers are getting so big, you can go ahead and use a calculator to get square root of 3,284. So when you work that out, you're going to get C is about 57. So our hypotenuse there is about 57 miles. But that doesn't answer the question, because the question was, how much further is it to go along the legs than it is to go on the hypotenuse? So to go along the legs, I would have to add the 50 plus the 28 to get 78 miles. Well, it's only 57 to go along the hypotenuse, so if I want to know how much further it is, I need to subtract the 78 minus the 57 to get 21. So it is 21 miles further to go along the legs than it is to go along the hypotenuse. Alright, so let's work a word problem. So a 20-foot ladder is leaning against a wall and is 4 feet from the wall at the base. How high up the wall does the ladder reach? So let's draw this out. So we got a wall here. Make it a brick wall. And we got this ladder leaning against it. And we know the ladder is 20 feet tall. And we know it's 4 feet at the base from the wall. And we want to know how high up the wall the ladder goes. So we just created a right triangle. So now we can use Pythagorean Theorem. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So here we're given a leg and the hypotenuse. So I'm going to do 4 squared plus B squared equals 20 squared. So 4 squared is 16 plus B squared equals 20 squared is 400. So now I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides and get B squared equals 384. So I need to square root that. So the square root of 384 is going to be a little bit less than 20. But not a lot, because you can check yourself by doing 19 squared. I didn't give that to you in the list, but anytime they're not on the list, you can always multiply and get something close. So 9 times 9 is 81, 9 plus 8 is 17, so 19, 7 plus 9 is 6, so that would be 361. So it would be somewhere between 19 and 20. Now 384 is about halfway between the two, so I'm going to estimate this to be about 19 and a half. So that ladder would reach about 19 and a half feet up the wall. So that lets you know how high up the wall you can go. So if you needed to get to the top of the wall, it'll let you know how tall the wall can be. So if your wall's over 20 feet tall, your ladder's not going to reach.